Welcome, parent guardians. Our session today is about the 24-25 school year gifted identification process and the steps involved in Henrico's timeline for gifted identification. We will not cover gifted services information during our session. This session is geared toward parents and guardians who are considering referring their child for gifted identification or who have initiated a gifted referral. Some of you may be just curious about the gifted identification process or have some questions. This information meeting will provide you with a basic overview and opportunity to ask questions following the video presentation. One thing to keep in mind is that there are annual windows for gifted identification in grades K through 12. So if you decide not to refer your child, there will be additional opportunities in the following academic years. Please note that students must be currently enrolled and attending Henrico County Public Schools in order to participate in the gifted identification process, as well as the required assessments. To begin our session, let's review the Henrico County Public Schools philosophy for gifted education. Students require educational opportunities commensurate with their needs and abilities. Henrico is committed to using multiple criteria to identify gifted students from all cultural and socioeconomic backgrounds. The school division provides a qualitatively differentiated instructional program that includes rigorous 21st century curriculum content, along with innovative instructional opportunities for students in grades K through 12. Henrico County Public Schools also recognizes the complex social and emotional needs of gifted students. Here are several characteristics of gifted children or look-fors. Giftedness is unique to each student. Children may have some, but not necessarily all, of these traits. The National Association for Gifted Children defines giftedness in this way. Students with gifts and talents perform or have the ability to perform at higher levels compared to others of the same age, experience, and environment in one or more domains. They require modifications to their educational experiences to learn and realize their potential. Students with gifts and talents come from all racial, ethnic, cultural, and socioeconomic populations, require sufficient access to appropriate learning opportunities to realize their potential, can have learning and processing disorders that require specialized intervention and accommodation, need support and guidance to develop socially and emotionally in their area of talent. On this slide, you see some questions and factors you will want to consider as you think about referring your child for the gifted identification process. Does he or she perform at remarkably high levels, have intense interest, show compassion for others, exhibit intellectual curiosity, think outside the box, effectively interact with adults and older children, or use alternative processes? Is he or she eager to explore new ideas or concepts, a leader within his or her group of peers, self-aware, or sensitive to larger or deeper issues? In order to provide access to gifted services and programming for eligible students, the Gifted Programs Office is working with our school testing coordinators, gifted identification coordinators, our elementary administrators, gifted resource teachers, and building staff to carry out the gifted identification process and provide consistent support and communication throughout the identification window. This slideshow video includes a timeline for parents about key steps in this process and information on the data that will be collected on referred students. Your gifted identification coordinator and gifted resource teacher can provide building-specific information in order to provide information beyond the district level. The Gifted Identification Referral window will officially open on October 28th. Parents, guardians, teachers, community members, peers, or students themselves may submit referrals. Referrals must be received by November 12th. Schools must have a written referral for documentation. Emails can be accepted as the official referral. When submitting the referral, please indicate whether you are referring for math, language arts, or for both areas. Additionally, if you are emailing your referral, please include both the Gifted Identification Coordinator and the Gifted Resource Teachers as recipients. On November 18th, identification paperwork will be sent home to families who have referred students. Please complete and sign the academic referral form and parent questionnaire that you will receive. Please return these promptly to your child's school to the attention of the Gifted Identification Coordinator. Schools must have the academic referral form and parent questionnaire on or before November 25th. Please return all paperwork to the attention of your school's gifted identification coordinator. This portfolio is complete when the following evidence has been collected: parent questionnaire, grades, teacher scale, and standardized test forms. To be found eligible for gifted services, a student must have 4 supportive pieces of evidence. A student interview or observation may be completed as needed. Each school will convene a meeting of the identification placement team to review and evaluate the collected evidence and make a determination of the student's eligibility for gifted programs. Students can be found eligible in the areas of mathematics, English language arts, or general intellect, which is a combination of both math and English language arts. Our gifted resource teachers will implement student performance tasks as part of the identification process. Once the student's portfolio has been evaluated, schools will send the results home. Additional paperwork will be included along with the eligibility results, which will include a summary of each of the required criteria that was collected. Once permission is received, gifted resource teachers will connect with classroom teachers and newly identified students. Students who are found eligible for gifted services will receive services beginning in the 25-26 school year. Next, we will discuss a few key points for the ID process for this year. Our parent information session today is focused around this question: how do I initiate a gifted referral for my child? Please consult your child's classroom teacher to discuss his or her current academic performance in addition to attending this session or viewing the slideshow video. Once you've had that conversation with your child's teacher and you would like to proceed with a referral for gifted identification, you may send your written referral to your school's gifted identification coordinator. An email is fine. Please remember the final due date for referrals is November 12th. In Henrico County Public Schools, a cognitive abilities test is administered as a universal screener of all second graders. This assessment supports a broad range of educational planning and decisions, including gifted identification. All Henrico second grade students participate in ability testing. It's important to note that second grade parent guardians should formally refer their child if they would like him or her screened for gifted identification. We encourage second grade parents to refer their child if they see evidence of giftedness. For kindergarten and first grade students referred for gifted identification, ability testing will be administered on an as-needed basis. For students in grades 3 through 8, a nationally normed test score from a previous school year will be used if the test date falls within Henrico's 2-school year validity range. If a student does not have a nationally normed test score on file, arrangements to take a test will be made. If a student has transferred from another district and has previous test scores from a previous gifted identification, those scores will be used as part of our identification transfer process. More information on the transfer process can be found on the gifted webpage of the Henrico County Public Schools website. You may be wondering, how will testing and other evidence be collected for virtual students? All evidence needed for the identification process, aside from testing, can be collected in a virtual setting. If a test needs to be administered, additional information and dates will be provided by the testing coordinator for HVA, Mr. Golden. For additional information or support, please contact your school's gifted resource teacher or gifted identification coordinator. A parent FAQ for the 24-25 gifted identification is posted on Henrico's main gifted webpage. The remainder of today's session will be a Q&A for parents moderated by the gifted resource teacher and gifted identification coordinator. This video will also be available for parent guardians unable to attend today's session.